Going Beyond is a presentation of Beyond Housing, helping entire communities become better places to live with RareGem Productions. Reliance Bank, your locally owned hometown bank, is pleased to sponsor today's Going Beyond radio show. With 20 locations throughout the St. Louis area, Reliance Bank is making money a little friendlier.
Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
We're going beyond.
Today on Going Beyond, a deeper conversation with Becky James-Hatter, President and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Eastern Missouri.
It is the thing. It is relationships that change people's lives. And one of the things that we're focused on is every day we have up to 1,700, 1,800 active Big Brothers and Big Sisters and lots of friends. And if we could just mobilize our active Bigs, our alumni, all of our partners, if every one of them, or even 50% of them, would just help us find one volunteer, every year Big Brothers and Big Sisters would eliminate its waiting list.
Chris Krehmeyer asks about the big need for the big organization and their big event for their big 100-year celebration.
Beyond Housing is going beyond.
That and more ahead today on Going Beyond with Chris Krehmeyer, right after this. Reliance Bank is focused on meeting the banking needs of the entire St. Louis community. That's because Reliance Bank, unlike the big national banks, is locally owned and operated. It's run by people you know, and that's important when you're looking for a personal checking account that's really free, a mortgage, or a loan for your business. So stop in and introduce yourself at one of their 20 branches throughout the St. Louis area. Reliance Bank, making money a little friendlier.
Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Did you make $52,000 or less last year? If so, you could be eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit. Hi, I'm Russ Signorino with Gateway EITC. Fast, friendly, and free tax preparation services are available near you. To find out if you qualify for free tax prep, call 314-539-4062. Again, that's 314-539-4062. Why pay to get your taxes done when you can get them done for free? It's your money. You earned it. Call us now to learn more.
RareGem Productions proudly presenting The Positive. Hi, this is Jade Harrell. You remember what it was like to dream? Yeah, what really compelled your heart. Imagine if you knew early on that it was possible for you to live your dream. Kwame Foundation presents the Live Your Dream Concert. Introducing performances by Brianna Elise and Trio. Thursday, March 20th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. at the lovely Sheldon Concert Hall, 3648 Washington Boulevard. Sponsored by Worldwide Technologies, the St. Louis American, and Renaissance Financial. I am excited to host and be a part of this very special event. Get your tickets at eventbrite.com. RareGem Productions proudly presenting The Positive.
Hi, my name is Carl Gunther, Community Development Specialist at the Public Policy Research Center at the University of Missouri St. Louis. I believe in strong neighborhoods, and not just for some, but for all. I believe in everyone having a chance to grow up in a place full of opportunity. For that reason, I love being able to work with the Community Builders Network of Metro St. Louis and making sure that more people, more organizations, more communities can realize their dreams. And I believe in going beyond.
We're going beyond. Welcome to this edition of Going Beyond. I'm your host, Chris Krehmeyer, President and CEO of Beyond Housing. On today's show, we're going to talk about one of the leading organizations in serving kids here in the St. Louis region. Joining me on the show, again, is the President and CEO of Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Eastern Missouri, Miss Becky James. Becky, welcome to the show.
Hey, Chris. Good morning.
Hope everything is well with you. So, rumor has it that you have a big anniversary coming up. It is hard to believe that Big Brothers and Big Sisters has been around for 100 years. Maybe tell our listeners a little bit about what that means for your organization and what you got planned for 2014.
Well, great. So thank you very much again for inviting me. And yes, 100 years, Big Brothers and Big Sisters has been serving the children and family of St. Louis and Eastern Missouri. And Chris, there is so much history that this organization has to share with the community, not only in the terms of services, but what's its role in the national organization. I don't know if most people are familiar or know that Big Brothers Big Sisters in St. Louis was one of the founding organizations of the entire national movement. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so we were kind of like one of the 13 colonies. There were 13 organizations across the country that were really the leaders. And so in this year, 2014, we'll be celebrating 100 years. And like I said, there's a lot to celebrate. But certainly in 2015, we'll be launching our second century of service. And so there's so many opportunities for us to celebrate this time, really bring new things to the forefront. And I just can't tell you how happy we are to be in this place.
Well, let's talk a little more about that. So 100 100 years, the St. Louis affiliate being one of the early ones. And sometimes I think people kind of lose track of time. But 1914, it was a whole different world than it is today. But the needs of children existed back then as they exist today. So talk a little bit about kind of what you guys are thinking and what you're planning for 2014 to both honor the work of the past, but almost more importantly, because I know how you think, what are you doing today in 2014 to meet the needs of children in our community?
Well, I just want to reiterate what you said in your opening statement just then, is that things have changed dramatically over the last 100 years, and I don't need to outline for the audience what those things are. But one thing has remained consistently true, is that children need caring, loving adults in their lives, and they need to be able to be successful in school. So whereas all of the things have changed around us, the fundamental needs of children have not. And that's what keeps us here 100 years, and that's what gets us really inspired for the next century of service. So the things that we're going to be doing in this year, certainly we've got some key events that are coming up. You're participating in one of them, that we're recruiting 100 VIPs. And VIP means for us, who are the most interesting people in St. Louis, who are the most involved, and who are the most influential wherever it is in their scope of work. 100 people coming out raising at least $1,000, bowling with our kids and families to help us get the next 100 kids off our waiting list. We also have an event called the Big Event, which is going to be like our Oscars that are coming up at the end of March, right in front of National Volunteer Appreciation Month. But in addition to that, we have pulled out all of our history of photos, documents from the past that we're really excited to be in conversations right now with Missouri History Museum to help us organize this information and potentially move it into some type of archive so that everyone can see it. So there's a lot going on in this year. So if people are interested in exactly what we're doing, what our plans are, Facebook and Twitter is probably the place where we're posting most of our new information.
And what's they just Google Big Brothers Big Sisters of Eastern Missouri, and they can track down both the Facebook and the Twitter account?
Yes, and they can also go onto our website, which is www.BBBSEMO.org, and they can get into our site like that as well.
So, Becky, when you look back and look forward relative to the work, and as you said, even though so much has changed in our world from 1914 to now, whether it's simply the use of technology, the advent of different kinds of transportation, the singular commonality is we still have to take care of our kids, and we still have to do a better job at ensuring that our children do well, knowing that the research that I know your organization has been a part of, mine has, and so many others, that says, look, we know how to do this. This is not, we're not trying to cure cancer. It's something that is not unsolvable. Is can we create systems and create enough body of caring individuals that will step up and raise their hand and say, I want to make a difference in the life of a child. Talk a little bit more about the systemic way that Big Brothers and Big Sisters is looking to do that here in the St. Louis region and across the country.
I keep wanting to kind of build up on what you are saying. Look, technology is always going to advance, and it's strange thinking that I used to laugh that my parents were around when the television was invented and think they're old. Well, we're now at the point to where we were around when the Internet and Facebook and everything else was invented. But no technology innovation is ever going to replace the face-to-face relationship, the need for the human spirit to have relationships. It's not going to take the place of the front porch. We have to be with each other. We have to love and care for each other. And so I think that there's an opportunity for us, for the work that you're doing and others are doing, to keep putting that story out. It is the thing. It is relationships that change people's lives. And one of the things that we're focused on is every day we have up to 1,700, 1,800 active Big Brothers and Big Sisters and lots of friends. And if we could just mobilize our active Bigs, our alumni who we're going to be trying to find in another thing we're going to be doing in this centennial year, all of our partners, if every one of them, or even 50% of them, would just help us find one volunteer, every year Big Brothers and Big Sisters would eliminate its waiting list. Every year. We wouldn't have a waiting list if 50% of the people we already know would recommend one person to be a Big. So we're going to get really, really focused on how to take the people that know and love this work and how to mobilize them, because every year we would no kid would wait if everyone would just give us one person.
Let's talk about that. I want to make sure our listeners get a sense of how they can raise their hand and how they can help. So you have a waiting list, meaning you have children and their families who said, we would love to have a big brother or big sister, have that additional caring adult in the life of this particular child, just to help them on big things and little things. So you currently have a waiting list. Others are just simply waiting for somebody in the St. Louis region, somebody listening to our voices can raise their hand and say, I'm willing to help. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Every day. Even if we get 50 kids off of our waiting list, another 50 come on. Every day we have a daily census of children waiting for a big brother or big sister. These are kids that want somebody in their life. Between 1,200 and 1,500 waiting every single day that want a relationship and want a better life. And the difference between that better life is that caring adult that will partner with a parent in the school. So every day I have 1,200 to 1,500. That's why if we just got half of the people we know to recruit one person, we'd eliminate it every year.
Right. So again, for those of you who know about Big Brothers and Big Sisters, have either benefited and have been a recipient of the service or have been involved in one way or the other, and you can hear my voice, I urge you to contact Becky and her folks at Big Brothers and Big Sisters to find out what it takes and what kind of time and what kind of commitment it takes, because this is not a done-in-a-day thing, right? Some volunteer things, you can go out on a Saturday, do some stuff, feel good, pat yourself on the back, and go home. But this is different because this is really about touching somebody else's life. Could you talk a little bit about the time and the commitment? Because I'm hoping when this show airs that folks call in quickly and say, I want to participate. Talk a little bit about the time and the commitment that you're looking for to make sure that the child will be successful.
Big Brothers and Big Sisters is into long-term, enduring, trusting relationships. We're in the relationship business. So when volunteers step forward, we ask for a minimum of a 1-year commitment, a 12-month commitment, and a minimum of seeing the child twice a month for a minimum of 4 hours. So that is doable by so many people because you're not asking them to change the way they spend their time. We're asking you just to incorporate a child in the time you're already spending. So it's very doable for everyone that really wants to make the commitment.
And we are all guilty of this, of self-inflicted, I don't have any time in my life. And I urge us all, and I've been trying to do this as we've entered 2014, is really look, where do I really spend my time and what am I spending my time on? And I feel like I, like many others, busy my life with things that may or may not be important or as important as other things. So again, being able to contribute to the future of a child, I would allege, is a lot more meaningful than what a lot of things that I do in my day. And I would allege others who can hear me right now that just take a pause and think about that adult in your life that was helpful to you, that adult that you didn't know at the time, wow, that they're helping me and they're mentoring me. They just happen to be there. Again, whether it's a coach, a family friend, a neighbor, somebody else who took the time to, if they didn't say it directly, what they said to you is, you're important and you can have my time and I will try to be here for you in lots of different ways. And if we have that many children in the St. Louis region looking, asking, reaching out, not only is the children, it's their families and school districts again. So maybe real quickly as we come near to close, let's talk a little bit about this newer model, right? The traditional model, I think a lot of folks kind of get, it's the child, it's the big brother, big sister, and connected to the family. But over the last several years, you've done something really exciting where you've incorporated the schools where the kids go into this mix. So maybe talk a little bit about that, Becky.
We are pretty good at Big Brothers and Big Sisters at reflecting on our work and certainly using a lot of data in that process. But one of the things that occurred to us is that children certainly spend a lot of time at home and in their neighborhoods. But one of the places, if children are going to have a great life, they really do have to get a great education and be fully engaged in it. So about 7 years ago, we started expanding our model. Certainly we still have the 1-to-1 between the big and the little, but we now call it 4-to-1, where we have the school and the parents as full, active, and engaged partners, not just spectators. So we work very closely with our school districts, with our teachers. We actually have about 8 of our employees embedded in about 8 schools in the St. Louis region. So we're very excited about that. And Chris, if we have a little time, I'd like to tell you a little bit about what the second century of service is going to add something really unique.
We got 2 minutes, and the floor is yours, Miss James.
Okay, so we're very much on the cusp of this, but the Board of Directors has voted and approved for us to extend our promise. Our promise to children and to their families is we'll be there. We'll be there to support you, help you, open doors. We cannot promise we'll fix it, but we can promise to be there. Well, we are going to extend that promise not only through high school, but our promise is now going to extend through post-secondary completion. We are going to stay with our little brothers and little sisters so that they can go to trade schools, so they can go to college, and help them get employment. We have been there with these kids for so many years. Our community needs more educated kids. Our kids need jobs, and we have now made the promise to extend it to be there to and through post-secondary and employment.
That's kind of a big deal.
It is a big deal, but it is the natural next step into our second century of service, and what that's going to look like and how we're going to get it done, that is all in the works. But I think over the next 24 months, we'll have a great answer, and I'm happy to be telling you this.
I appreciate that, Becky. So there's going to be a lot of conversations in the next couple of months about, how do we fix education? And a lot of them are going to be very narrow in scope. And what Becky just described in terms of what Big Brothers and Big Sisters is doing is saying, yes, what happens inside the four walls of the classroom is really important. But you know what? If our children are going to be successful, we have to recognize what happens outside of those four walls and outside of that normal school day is critically important as well. So let's make sure we don't get a narrow view of what it's going to take for our children to do well academically. Yes, there's great things have to happen in the schools, but there has to be great organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters that are engaged in our children's lives to ensure that we're going to be successful through public education, but as Becky just described, past that as we get into post-secondary education and trade school as well. So please don't let people have the conversation about public education be too narrow. Challenge them to say, what are we doing about what's happening in the community? How are we supporting our kids in a lot of different ways, in addition to ensuring that we have quality education in our public schools. Becky James-Hatter, President and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Eastern Missouri. Congratulations on your 100-year anniversary. And one more time, if people want to get engaged in any form or fashion, how do they contact you?
Well, the best ways is you can pick up the phone and call 361-5900, 361-5900, or you can go to our website, which is BBBSEMO.org.
Reliance Bank is pleased to sponsor today's Going Beyond radio show. With 20 locations throughout the St. Louis area, Reliance Bank, your locally owned hometown bank, is making money a little friendlier.
Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
We're going beyond.
Going Beyond is a presentation of Beyond Housing, helping entire communities become better places to live with RareGem Productions. Proudly promoting, presenting, and producing positive programming.
Neighborhood is where you live, and we want to keep it strong and vibrant. This is Chris Krehmeyer with Beyond Housing. We are going beyond.
Chris Krehmeyer, President and CEO of Beyond Housing. Located at 4156 Manchester, phone number 314-533-0600. The only organization in the St. Louis region that offers access to affordable housing. Wherever we work, our goal is to help transform people, families, and communities so that they achieve the skills, strategies, resources, and commitment to succeed for the long term. See our work at beyondhousing.org. Podcast for Going Beyond can be heard, downloaded, and shared by visiting hallelujah1600.com. Listed under the music tab, on demand. Going Beyond is another positive production of RareGem Productions.